Right. I first have a comment. I've been involved with a lot of lobbying efforts, visiting congressmen. I specifically met with Congressman Royce, who sits on the Foreign Affairs Committee, and he mentioned that he met Warren Christopher, and specifically told Warren Christopher that it doesn't matter what the UN's going to do. He wants U.S. to have a policy, and that our policy should be lifting the arms embargo. I just want to ask the question, why, to the gentleman from UCLA, why did the UN put the arms embargo to be in the first place?
Thank you.
Okay, the arms embargo was placed on all of the republics of Yugoslavia during the war in Croatia, about 7 months before a war broke out in Bosnia. One thing I want to point out, this war is not a war just against Bosnia. This war is a war that started against Croatia and Slovenia, two other former republics of Yugoslavia. The genocide didn't start in Bosnia. The genocide started against Croatian Catholics, so it's not only... the victimizers are Serbian fascists. The victims include Muslims, who are the worst victims, who have suffered the greatest casualties, but also hundreds of thousands of Croatian Catholics have been victimized by this war. Could you repeat
He asked the question why UN has put the arms embargo from the first place.
Okay, the arms embargo was placed when the war had begun after the war had begun in Croatia, and the logic was supposedly to prevent the distribution of weapons all around Yugoslavia, and to prevent an escalation of the fighting, and to keep the fighting from being high-tech and more lethal. A more lethal type of killing. But the policy was flawed because the Serbian officers controlled the former Yugoslav army and were able to get hold of 90% of the weaponry, including the entire air force of former Yugoslavia. All of this was concentrated in the hands of the Serbian forces. Therefore, the arms embargo didn't work to prevent a general distribution of arms and a general escalation of the fighting. It worked against the Croatians first and then against the Bosnians later, who were prevented from defending themselves against this much superior force.
I have a question. من این سوالو به فارسی میکنم آقای دکتر فوگلکوست، ازتون شما میتونید فارسی یا انگلیسی هر جور راحت ترین جواب بدین. در جواب سوال نیلوفر خانم شما گفتین که یونایتد نیشن در پیروی از سیاست ملل دیگه به خصوص امریکا یک سری کارها رو انجام میده در بوسنیا. چه کارهاییه که یا به طور خلاصه سیاست امریکا در این زمینه چیه که یونایتد نیشن ازش پیروی میکنه و چه کارهایی رو نمیکنه و یا چه کارهایی رو میکنه؟ این رو اگه بتونین شما رو آگاه کنین.
به نظر من سیاست امریکا خصوصاً بر تحت حکومت بوش و بعداً تحت کلینتون سیاست این است هیچی نکند. I believe American policy towards former Yugoslavia is to do nothing. The original policy when the conflict broke out was that Yugoslavia should be kept together at all costs. That's why the Bush administration publicly spoke out against the independence of Croatia and Slovenia at the time the war began, and that gave a green light, or that led the Serbian leadership to believe that it could intervene to keep Yugoslavia together. At that time, that really meant keep Yugoslavia part of a Serbian dictatorship. But the American lack of a policy and lack of an understanding that countries like the Soviet Union and Yugoslavia cannot be held together against the will of the majority of the people living in them, That was the original mistake in American policy. And then following that mistake, there's just been a desire to cover up and to justify the original policies.
سوالی که دارم اینه که میتونه دلیل دیگه ای باشه به خاطر برای دولت امریکا که به قول معروف هیچ کاری انجام نمیده. ما دیدیم در کویت که بازم مسلمون ها بودن، بلافاصله لشکرکشی کرد امریکا، رفت اونجا و عراقی ها رو بیرون کرد، ولی یک دونه از این کارا رو ما در بازنیا نمیبینیم و دلیلش چیه؟ آیا اینترستای دیگه‌ای داره امریکا که در بازنیا نداره و نمیخواد ازش حمایت بکنه؟ دلیل اصلی چیه؟
بوسنی نفت نداره.
Exactly.
خیس میشی